Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to Coastside Church online again. We really do value your time. I hope everyone is safe and well. Today I do have guests joining us today, so I really do want to welcome and am thrilled to see you both again, Pastors Rick and Jennifer Dobson. So it is great. Thank you so much for coming in. How are you both going?
It's great to be here, Julie. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
And things are going really well. Yeah. I love this autumn weather.
It's stunning,
so
isn't it?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
The blue skies through the day, and so I've been doing plenty of walks.
It is. It's just great. It's beautiful weather at the minute. Yeah. Now, guys, these guys are pastors. They are ordained pastors. Rick, do you just want to tell us a little bit what you both do when church is normally on? At the minute, you probably aren't doing much at Coastside Church, but normally when we are up and running, just tell us a little bit about what you do.
Thanks, Julie. We're privileged to be able to do a whole bunch of stuff in the light of in the welcoming, working with John and Lynn Pop as part of their team there. Also, as pastors, we enjoy sharing communion with people down the back, and also being given the privilege to be able to share messages and that type of thing as well as being on other leadership avenues in the church. So it's just a great thing to be able to give into the lives of others. And really everything that we're involved in is about putting into the lives of others. So yes, it's just a privilege.
I always see you on Sunday. You always look really busy. You're chatting to everyone, and you do a great job. How long have you guys been married? Just tell us a little bit personally, like how long you've been married, how many kids have you raised, grandkids, that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, it's actually coming up to 39 years this year in August. So hasn't that gone quick?
Yeah, thanks for the heads up. I better do something.
You get on it, Rick. Get on it. Been warned.
We were actually young when we met. I was 17 and Rick was 19. And it's been a fantastic journey. We've had a lot of ups and downs, which is all part of life.
Yeah, of course.
But
So how many kids did you raise?
We have two sons.
Yeah, okay.
So Ben is 38.
Wow.
And Matthew is 34.
Wow.
And Ben is actually married to Danielle, and they have two children. So we have two beautiful grandsons, Jesse, who's 5, and Theo, who's 3.
Wow. That's so good.
And with Matthew, he has a girlfriend, Taylor. So all
there's
of
more
that
grandkids
is yet to come.
Yeah, that's awesome. So 39 years, that's amazing. And you both look really happy, healthy marriage. Can you give us what's the trick? What's the key thing to having a good, healthy marriage?
Well, I think the key thing first off is having God in our life. So we have learnt over the years so much by going to church. We have actually learnt how to have a good marriage, how to raise our children, and how to have fun, how to go on camping trips and enjoy each other, and enjoy the family unit. So I really do believe that it's been, God who has influenced us for good.
Were you both Christian when you first got married or not?
No.
Okay.
No. So it was about 2 years into the marriage where we actually both came and accepted Jesus into our life.
Wow.
And that was the best decision that we ever made. He sort of put us on track, to do life well.
So the marriage was just a little bit tricky?
Well, after 2 years of marriage, you start to realise that, hey, this guy's different to me. His personality is totally different to my personality. And we started to, have a little bit of friction there. Which is normal.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure. But, so God sort of helped us with that. And, it's just been challenging at times, but it's also been a lot of fun. And I think the key that I learnt out of the, probably about 10 years later through the marriage is it's really good to work as a team. So that Rick's strengths, we can lean on them and he can lean on my strengths. And then put them together, even though they're different, and start to work as a team.
instead of butting heads and not working as a team. So
and that took a little bit of time.
Yeah.
You know, to learn that.
Yeah, which is a really good point because we've got a lot of newlyweds in our church, really. The youngest ones are only like 2 months into their marriage. So it is quite normal to start off with, you would say, that it's a little bit tricky, is a good word, and sorting each other out and allow time.
Definitely.
Yeah. Rick, what do you reckon your good pointers are for a healthy marriage?
Well, I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. It's a different journey for everybody. I'm sure of that. But the real key is you just don't give in and you don't give up. That's not that's in working together.
Yeah.
And so it's having that understanding is a great place to start and be established.
Yeah.
That we're committed for life. We stood before God and gave vows.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you don't take that lightly.
Yeah.
And so when you do hit difficulties, and we've hit many, you know you're committed to each other, and so you're able to work through it.
So there's a security in that then too, that you're both committed to each other, and some bad stuff can really happen, like some really stuff that can rock the boat.
Yeah.
But because you've dead set that's a commitment, there's a stability in that then, I would presume, isn't there? Well, it is for us. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's a bit like parenting. You have boundaries.
Yeah.
And you stay within those boundaries.
Yeah.
And so there's some fundamental keys, which I guess why we're here to sort of be able to cover those.
Yeah.
But it is a very interesting journey. By the way, it's actually 41 years together.
Wow.
I am keeping note.
Yeah, you are.
41 years together.
41 years together.
39 married.
39 married on the paperwork. But I've spoke with older gentlemen. It's a great thing to talk to the older generation and ask them for a little bit of assistance and a lot like what they've got from marriage. And I've spoke with people that have been married for 60 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so one bit of advice I was given, the gentleman said that I always have the last word.
No,
which
right.
is yes, dear.
Yes.
So that what was working for him. Yeah. But like Jen said, it's a match. It's the things that you see in people that attract you to people over a period of time, that might be weeks, months, years, can then be the thing that aggravates you the most. And so
that's a good point.
In any sort of relationship, you've got a mesh. You can't be headbutting. You won't get anywhere with that. You've got to learn how to mesh, how to cover weaknesses in the other, how to allow the other to work in your strengths. And so that's only taken us 39 years to figure out.
It's taken a while.
So the other thing is we change. This is something that I never thought would happen. I never thought I'd get old. And so we change, and about every 10 years or so we change our values. So as we get married, that changes our life, and then as we have children, that changes our life, and then as our children leave home, that changes our life. Which was really good. And as they have children of their own and they bring them back, then it changes
again.
life again. And so some people often say, I wish I had my grandchildren first, but that's not our topic for the day.
No.
The fun definitely begins when the grandchildren come along.
Yeah, they're the best thing God ever created.
That is good, isn't it? So I think they're great tips, really, and it takes time, and so I think a lot of our younger ones that are newly married might just need to probably hear that takes time to work out each other's personality.
Just settle. You got the rest of your lives. There's no rush. There's no race. And it's not a competition. It's a lifelong journey, and when you begin to see it from that perspective, that's when you're able to start to work together on that. It's a terrible thing when in this modern world in which we live that it becomes a disposable society, and it's so easy to move on from relationship to relationship, and And in doing that, we can accumulate a lot of baggage and drag a lot of baggage around with us, and that infiltrates the next relationship. And relationships are not easy. If they were easy, everyone would be doing them well.
Yeah.
And so there are keys to relationships, and in marriage, there's definite keys in that. And it's really is built on a love and respect and a meshing of your gifts that God has bestowed on us.
Yeah.
What would you do? So when you do hit a bit of a rough patch, like in the past, I'm sure you've got it ironed out now. But what did you do? Like in a rough patch, what's something that you did?
We didn't talk for 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd make me cranky.
First newly married, I know, I'm hearing you.
There was communication breakdown.
As the old joke goes, I didn't see my wife for 3 days, and I could just make her out of the corner of one eye. It's learning how to work with the other, and it's learning those principles, and it's not a blanket rule. There's no blanket rule here either. There's some fundamental principles, but it's learning how to work with each other, learning how to communicate, and not letting emotion rule you. And being difficult. So it's 100% each way.
Yeah.
It's not 50%.
You give your all. Yeah.
It's 100% commitment to it. And did we get it right? No. Do we still get it right today?
Yeah,
not as much as we should. But we're committed.
Yeah, I love that. That to me is the real security blanket. You're committed.
Yes.
So when flare-ups, arguments happen, you're not. You both know that you're committed, and you just eventually, after 3 days, you will eventually chat about it.
Yeah.
Well. Some days we do it a bit quicker than that. The scripture tells us not to let the sun go down in no wrath. And that's what we try to do in that. And as you age, and now we've been together for 41 years, and I'm just beginning to get the hang of it, you tend not to create problems for yourself by choosing your words right, choosing how you do things that either please or displease. And so we, as individuals in the relationship, we could get to choose, and we know after a while, because I'm a fairly slow learner, but we can learn after a while what it is that rubs the other the wrong way. And not go there, as tempting as it is. But not
so you're still tempted,
there.
but you're choosing not to.
Well, if you want a night in the doghouse,
go there.
Go there.
But you've learnt not to.
Otherwise.
Which I think.
And again, do we get it right all the time? No. Are we perfect in everything we do? No. Certainly not. Do we make mistakes still? Yes, we do. But the great thing about mistakes is that there's always something to learn in it. And I think, God allows us to make mistakes, but he expects us not to keep repeating them. And that's something that we try not to do. But again, with so much variety of things around us, it's you find new problems every day, and you make mistakes every day in that.
Yeah, that's really good.
I think it's also important to be flexible. So I think that's another key. Something that I've learnt over the years as well.
So with his point of view or something like that, you can be flexible, not so headstrong. That's a good point. Yeah, no, that's great. They're great pointers, and I really do want to thank you for taking the time. And your marriage and your lives are a testament. You can see that you really gel really well together. And
thank you.
Coming up 39 years, that is just
41.
Amazing. 41 together.
41 together.
39 married, and don't forget it, Rick, because you will be buying Jen a gift. So here we go.
That's right.
Apparently it's Ruby when it's 40.
There we go.
Years,
Pop your order in. Anyway, but
It'll be the Ruby Princess.
No cruising. I think that's down the track. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. I really do appreciate it, and I just think that you guys are awesome, and I'm loving that you're a part of CoSide and all that you do. We really do appreciate it. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Julie.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and I really hope to all our young married ones, young and old, I really do hope that this really encourages you. Hang in there, guys. It is worth it to invest time into your marriage, and it gets really, really good after a few years. You've just got to hang in there. It gets a bit rough to start off with, but I promise you it gets really good. So thank you so much.